Joining me is Mike Elk. He is a labor reporter. He's been covering all aspects of labor in and around the 2012 presidential campaign. Mike, let's talk about this recent leaked audio of Mitt Romney suggesting that people who have businesses should tell their employees how they should vote, and that there's nothing illegal about basically making your case for who you think will be better for that company's economic future. Outline for us, what are the laws, what's legal and illegal about implying or telling employees how they should vote?
Yeah, well, first off, what's important to note is that this wasn't leaked audio. I found this on the website of a business lobby group. This is something out in the open that they're advertising. And what's happened is that as a result of Citizens United, corporations can now talk to their employees about politics. They can even force their employees to volunteer for political candidates, since they're now considered corporate resources and an arm of political free speech. So what's happened is that Citizens United has lifted the previous FEC restrictions that prohibited corporations from talking directly to their employees about politics. This is obviously troubling, since what Mitt Romney was saying on this conference call is that you should tell your employees that their jobs depend on me being reelected. Obviously, that's a scary threat from a boss. If a boss comes in and says, if you don't reelect me, there's a high likelihood everyone might lose their jobs. A lot of people are going to go ahead and be scared into voting properly. So this is a really scary scenario. In many ways, it's like taking the anti-union, union buster playbook and applying it to electoral politics.
Okay, so let's talk about the legality. Mitt Romney even getting on the record in that phone call saying, hey, there's nothing illegal about this. Where is that line in terms of what is legal and what is not legal?
There's no line anymore. I mean, it's illegal to force someone to donate to a campaign, but you can still hit your employees up pretty hard over donating. That's the only line. If your boss says to you, hey, we're all going to go phone bank all day for Mitt Romney, you got to do it or your boss can fire you. That's legal under Citizens United.
So I was listening to a couple of other programs that were talking about this in the last week or so, and one view on this, and I'm curious to get your thought on it, is that while the employer is protected in terms of what he can say as far as supporting political candidates based on Citizens United, that if the employee can prove, and this is not the easiest thing to prove, but can prove that there was a reasonable fear that they specifically would be fired or otherwise reprimanded or pay would be affected by their political decisions, their vote, what have you, that would actually go beyond Citizens United, and a separate, these cases would have to be made individually, but that there would be something illegal there if the employee was felt coerced into voting.
It's a real gray area. And the matter is that, quite frankly, how many workers are going to want to sue a corporation and fight it out for a year or two in court? Not very much. So while there might be some legal protections, it's a gray area, and not too many folks are willing to go without a job for a year or two when they got mortgage payments and it's tough finding other jobs.
No question about it. So what can people do? In other words, what should I be saying on our program, which is progressive, which believes that Citizens United was a mistake, right? What can the left really do? What's the most effective message? Is it that we need to go all the way to a constitutional amendment that will effectively overturn Citizens United, which is a huge task? Are there shorter term things? What about for this particular election? What is the message we want to give to these voters who are the subject of these political recruitments, as they may be?
Well, I think the biggest message is one that that workers need to talk out about this, talk to reporters and let people know, maybe not on the record, maybe off the record, and let them know about this kind of political intimidation. So that way we can document it. And I think documenting it makes employers less likely to do it. That's the short term, very short term way to deal with it. Another midterm way to deal with it is, quite frankly, the only protection most folks would have against being fired is to be a member of a union. Unions can protect folks in these kind of situations. There's certain clear spelled out terms in union contracts for why people can be fired. And so I think that's the biggest solution. Number three, I think certainly we have to overturn Citizens United, a constitutional amendment of some variety. So I think these are the big things that people could be doing.
Let's talk a little bit about also, you said would an individual really want to sue a company over their belief they may be coerced in terms of their voting, because then it could be a year or two in court. You've got mortgage payments to make. Does that same logic apply a lot of the times with why there is not more movement towards union organization in some of these companies? I mean, it's the same type of thing, right? You don't want to be the one that stands out, and even though legally you can't be fired for looking to create a union, we know that your employer can make life pretty difficult for you, can't they?
Yeah, oh yeah, they can make life extremely difficult for you. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think it's a real problem how much they can make the life difficult and all these kind of things. So, and I think most folks aren't even well educated enough to realize that they have these options to speak out and do these other things.
All right, so bottom line, there really is nothing illegal about what Mitt Romney said. There was nothing illegal about Congressman Joe Walsh standing up there in a bar and saying, hey, all of you with businesses, tell your employees, if you don't vote for Romney, things are going to get bad. You might lose your job. It's all perfectly legal under the current system.
That's right. Scary.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. We've been speaking with labor reporter Mike Elk. Check him out online on the web. Great to talk to you as always, Mike.
Great to talk to you too.
Okay, thanks.